Cheers! Welcome to my channel. Thank you for showing up, and also thank you for the likes, the comments, subscribes. I really do appreciate it, as it really helps me to build my channel. This is a general or collective reading from Tattletales from Tales from the Vector. I've already shuffled and washed the cards and cut and recut, but I'm just doing a little one here. And then we will begin. Just be aware that because this is a general or collective reading, that some parts may or may not resonate with you. Just take what works for you and leave the rest. I'm going to begin this reading by finding the underlying energy behind the scenes for this reading. And the card we have is Rowing Off to Calmer Shores with God, the Six of Swords. So that's a good way to start, a peaceful start to a peaceful underlying energy for this reading. This card represents someone who has decided to take a chance and move forward in a totally different way. And they're willing to leave behind what they already had or have and move forward and into new, calmer waters because they want to live a more peaceful life. And then we have that confirmed. I'm just going to double check here that this card is lined up properly. There we go. Thank you for your patience. So this is the Three of Wands, and this card is reconfirming this. The energy is the same. This person is standing on one shore and looking over into the distance. Actually, that's more like a desert there. So it feels like this person is looking for greener pastures is what I'm getting, more opportunity. And they've got the wands represent action. So he's getting ready to take action. And this card often can also mean that someone, the wands are entrepreneurial spirit. So this could be someone that has planted two wands on this in this area and now wants to expand. So either way, this card is about expanding your horizons. And then we have the Magician. Yeah, if you're hanging out with God, you probably are going to have calmer waters, and you're probably going to be able to produce. So the Magician, is a major arcana card, and it's the first step that the Fool takes in his new journey to at the beginning of a cycle. So this is saying that there's a new cycle here, and you'll notice that the Magician has the infinity symbol above his head, and he also has the Ouroboros wrapped around his waist, which also represents that symbol. Sometimes this Ouroboros can, because it's a snake or a dragon chasing their tail, sometimes it can represent someone who's got caught in a loop, and perhaps that's what this is saying here. The Magician has all the tools that he needs. He's got the cup, the pentacles, he's got the wand, and he's got the sword. So he's, and he's pointing up to heaven with his right hand and down to earth with his left. So this also represents as above and so below. And we have the Emperor. Okay, so the Emperor is all four kings rolled into one from the minor arcana. And the Emperor is in the major arcana, but represents when a person has reached a place where they embody the qualities of all four of the kings in the minor arcana. He has his armor on underneath his robe. So he's ready to, if there's something that he wants to do, he's ready at a second's notice. And, always ready for action. And the Emperor also, he's known for performance. So because he embodies all the qualities of the, four kings, his beard the white beard represents wisdom. And he's chilled out. Like, he's not someone that gets caught up in emotion. He's able to produce both on the spiritual level and on the earth level. And then we have the Seven of Wands. This card has been coming up a lot. It's because the energy on the planet right now is so up and down, and there's a lot of astrological aspects that are causing this energy of moving into the new. The thing is that if you're going to move into the new, which this card is this reading is definitely starting off as wanting to move into the new, then you have to have conviction beyond a doubt. Like if what you're doing, if you're being a pioneer, you're going to have to be able to stand up to criticism, or, not give up just at the smallest failure. And this is about like standing your ground and willing to really fight for what it is that you want. And this doesn't necessarily indicate fighting others, but it can actually indicate fighting yourself, like the last best version of yourself, and improving yourself continuously so that you can step into this performance of the Emperor. Wow. And then we have the Ten of Cups, which is ultimate fulfillment. Everything you want, like not just like on the physical, but on the spiritual realm. Happy family, happy, children. There's a rainbow which represents bringing heaven down to earth, and the 10 cups above their head. And yeah, so this is off to a great start. Yeah, and then we have the Nine of Pentacles. So Nine of Pentacles, this card's been coming up in the last couple readings also quite a bit. The Nine of Pentacles is like Nikola Tesla talks about the 369, and it reminds me always when I see this card, because there's 3 pentacles here that are in the bush that she's, letting go, and then there's 6 on her right hand. So she has the 3, 6, and they add up to 9. And the 369 is a ratio of like knowing how much to give, how much to take, when to give, when to take. And then she has the falcon on her left hand, which represents her insight, her ability to use her intuition, as well as her right hand, her ability on the earth, and her ability to see into the future. And then we have the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords comes in to say, this is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. And this is sometimes represents a peace offering or peace after difficulty. The swords represent, they're double-edged swords, so they represent your ability to, when it's an ace like this, it's your ability to think differently from how you thought before and to really step into this energy. And when any of the aces come in, they're a gift from the universe and God, and it's also saying you are the gift. And I am building a pyramid in this spread. And so the pyramid, this is the bottom row, represents what you need to be able to, your basic needs, which are pretty much covered here, starting off where most people want to be. So there's plenty of support here. There's plenty of happiness. So this moving off to peaceful shores can be like maybe even a retirement or something like that. And the World comes in. Yes, so the World is the last card in the major arcana, and the World card says to us, hey, this is the end of a cycle and something new to begin. It does feel a little bit like the energy of retirement or moving to a new country or something, like moving to calmer shores, a calmer lifestyle, less work, more play is what I'm getting. And look at that. Then we have the 8 of Pentacles. And I'm laughing because this card is about, it's the only card in the Pentacles that actually represents making money, because he's actually working on the coin. And what this card is saying to me is this person has worked hard and for the money to be able to have this now. And I'm just getting, sometimes this represents starting new, but in this case, I feel like it's, these are all the coins that he's already completed, lined up. And he's working on the second last one, and it's almost done, and he only has one more to go. And that feels, that's why I keep getting this energy of retiring. And retirement doesn't necessarily mean, you know, age-wise or whatever. It could be moving on to a new career that you enjoy more, or just working half-time or something like that. Yeah. And then we have the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is rushing in with a message. And just like my cat just did, she always has to come and let me know that, hey, I'm part of this reading too. She can feel the energy coming in when I do a reading. And I thought she was sound asleep, but that's kind of like this energy right here. Like she came in right when the Knight of Swords card shows up, and he's in a hurry. You can see the horse is like really being pushed. He has an important message to deliver. And this card can sometimes represent someone that's in too much of a rush and hasn't done their due diligence, but I don't get that that's what about. I think some sort of surprise communication came in, or perhaps something happened where this emperor is saying, you know what, I'm going after this, and I'm going after it right now. And I don't feel like the emperor has to. He's just decided beyond a doubt that this is the direction that he wants to take. And then we have the 5 of Swords. So the 5 of Swords is a card of change also. You'll notice like both of these, the energy of both of these sword cards is very different from the rest of, you know, the calm ones. And you can even see like the clouds are jagged. So the sky. So this is like something that has occurred, and it's right, it's sitting on the Emperor and the conviction beyond a doubt. And quite often, this card represents the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind, which the subconscious mind is the thoughts that you had from the time you were born till about the age of 7. And that's always, the subconscious mind is always in the back, chatter. And but it's actually not your thoughts, because most of us can't remember our childhood. So it's actually the thoughts of the people that raised you or were around you, or, you know, the country you were in at that time, or the, you know, the culture, whatever, religious, all of those things. The unconscious mind is your spiritual upbringing. And then the conscious mind is what you are aware of. So when those three come together and you go with your heart's desires, then you become congruent, and it's easy to make things happen quickly. I'm just getting some sort of message came in, and that caused the Emperor, perhaps as the Emperor has been thinking about making this change, but now he's like, no, I'm absolutely going to do it. And when the Emperor says he's going to do something, he does. And that's what it's interesting, because the High Priestess comes out now. And that is speaking of someone who's very highly intuitive, highly connected to source energy, to God, to the universe. And what I got right away is that this energy, like here's the Magician, he's number 1, the first step, and the second step in the new cycle that the Fool would take would be the High Priestess, like using your intuition to move forward. So I'm getting the Emperor has has had that ability for a very long time, uses a combination of his intuition and his mental intelligence, and has good control over the mind. And you'll notice there's 2 swords here, so it feels like, and there's 2 people here. So and then there's 2 wands here. So it feels like, and then there's 2 towers here, and the high priestess is sitting in between the 2. So it feels like that can represent these towers between her are evil, good, the spiritual, the world, like the 3D, the 5D. It can also, I'm just getting black holes, white holes, like this is the energy extremes, the energy of extremes, and being neutral in the middle. Once you become neutral, you can quiet your mind. Like when you become neutral to either extreme, then you can quiet your mind and take control of your mind and make conscious decisions that are strong. Yes, and the Temperance card comes in here. The Temperance card is right on the wands here and the Magician. So the Temperance card is about devotion to being the best version of yourself, being in tune with your spiritual self as well as the physical. And that's why there's the 2 vessels that are being poured back and forth. These 2, there's a lot of 2s here. So the 2s could be the 2 people, or they could be the spiritual and the earthly matters. And there's a path leading up to the sun here, which is speaking of this energy here. This one is speaking of more on a spiritual level, and this one is speaking more of taking logical steps of action to get to this new way. So this is, everything that this emperor needs, he has to be able to move this forward. And also recognize that the emperor, or the magician, I was pointing to the magician, but I'm talking about the emperor. The emperor is shown as a male, but this can be a female in her masculine energy as well as a male in their masculine energy. And we're moving into, this is what you have, the courage to move forward and manifest it. And then I'm just getting that this card, it can be read several ways, because this card is a walking contradiction. He's looking behind himself, but moving forward. He's tiptoeing, so he's leaving those 2 swords again, you see? And that's what I feel like. And it feels like we have 5 swords here, and now these 2 are the 2 that he's holding on to. And now again, it's speaking of these 2 swords. And just, I'm getting keeping it, whatever's happening, not really announcing it, but doing it quietly behind the scenes. Yeah, because it's the end of a cycle. I'm getting this card. This card sometimes can mean like stabbed in the back and left for unalive, or it can mean like a blessing in disguise. And I feel that just with the energy here and being with the Emperor and the High Priestess, and then the 5 and the 7 of Swords, that this is saying this is definitely the end of the cycle to be able to step into this new world. And his hand has the symbol of a blessing. So this card also represents a blessing in disguise. And just like in this card, he's looking off into the distance to, okay, I'm ready to make this move. Yeah, and there we have it. So this person is standing at the top of the castle on the turret and looking overviewing his domain. And it's like this, I'm just getting this wand represents, there's 2 again though, but this wand represents how he was raised, what he's done with his life. And then this one represents now that he wants a new world and he wants to move forward, take action on this. And perhaps this isn't going to be something that a lot of people are happy about. But because this is saying, having the courage to go after what your heart wants, then he's going to keep it quiet to himself, herself, and not really announce it. But this decision has definitely been made, and he does want to move forward in a new way. Yeah, and then we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is spinning into the past, the present, and the future, all spinning into now, I'm getting. And the Wheel of Fortune is about your destiny. So I feel like this is someone who has been really responsible their whole life and has been really successful. And perhaps this new adventure that she wants to go on is very different from how people are used to seeing this person. That's just the energy I'm getting, that it's kind of another aspect of himself that he's kept to himself or herself. And it feels like it's time now. The money's been made. He has, his responsibilities have been taken care of. And it's time to go after this desire that he has in his heart. And there we have it. Since he was young, a young man or a young woman, that's what the Page of Wand represents, usually someone under the age of 21. And he's looking up to this wand, and that is like this one here I'm getting, of like, okay, I am going to allow myself to do this. So this could be semi-retirement, or it could just be could be midlife crisis. It could be someone, but I don't feel in that case. In this case, it may appear that way to others, though, I'm getting, because he's really choosing to do something that is out of character, or he or her. But it is following heart's desires, and it's kind of like breathing new life into his life or her life. This is something that they have thought about doing for years and years, I'm getting, and now they've decided, okay, I'm finally going to do this for myself. Yeah, and there's the Six of Pentacles, and I feel like that Six of Pentacles is this Six of Pentacles, and knowing, okay, this card is about give and take as well as this one. This one is saying that I'm going to leave like these three pentacles for perhaps children, generations and that, but I'm going to take these six pentacles and I'm going to give and take those how I choose, doing what I choose to do. And because we have two beggars here and we have the scales here of balance and justice. And justice is about neutrality. And you'll notice he's giving one of the beggars coins and the other one not, because this one already has something. And I'm also getting that there comes a time in everybody's life where you just have to put yourself first and go after, after doing all this work. And because this card here, the Eight of Pentacles, means that you've put the work in. And, you've applied yourself for a long time to be able to accumulate like 9 pentacles like this. And we have the fulfillment here also. So I'm getting there's lots of pentacles to go around for everybody. And he's choosing to take that ratio, and he's going to give and take that on his new journey. Yeah, and there we have it. So this represents someone, the Five of Cups. This could be about love. the Five of Cups is, the cups are quite often about romance. So this could be someone that was disappointed in romance. There's three, it's regret. It's crying over spilt milk. I'm getting, even for some people, this may represent someone who is a widow or a widower. I'm really just all of a sudden getting that feeling. And there's these two cups standing of perhaps what they wanted to do or what they planned to do. And there's the three cups spilt, like crying over spilt milk. And what he plans to do is pick up these two cups and do what was planned to do. I keep getting in retirement, semi-retirement, or the big plan, okay, once we have all this money together and we're done raising our family, etc., then we're going to go off and travel the world for like 10 years. That kind of energy is what I'm getting. But for whatever reason, I feel like something happened that has created like this disappointment or regret. And he has to choose to do that alone or not do it at all, And I feel like he's made the choice to move forward and do what the plan was. And then we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant talks about traditional structure. So this could be, because this fulfillment card shows a family and all that. So perhaps in the past, this person has been a very traditional and someone that, you could rely on. The Emperor is someone that people will definitely go to for mentoring, or if they have a problem, they'll consult with the Emperor because the Emperor is successful and the Emperor has the patience and the knowledge to be able to get shift done. And so this is kind of again showing like the Hierophant also has that hand, the right hand, as the Magician does, and the Magician and the Hierophant, and also this card here. And so they're kind of like this. So I feel like this is saying that he's on this path and he's doing what his intuition is telling him to do because of this regret or whatever. And he's moving forward. And because this is on the end of this cycle also, I feel like this person has decided to move forward in this new way, regardless of what people might say or how it might be viewed by others. Yeah. And I'm getting, okay, the Hermit is all about going up to the top of the mountain and really, sitting with yourself, meditating in prayer and communing with God to be able to get a good feeling for, okay, which direction should I go? And I feel like, yeah, it's kind of showing that he's put a lot of thought into this and now he's ready to implement it. And this is heart's desires. Definitely a disappointment here though. Something happened. And then we have the Page of Swords comes in with another message. So the Page of Swords is right on top of these swords. And I feel like it's kind of like a message on a more spiritual level, because you'll notice that the Page of Swords, although he represents the mental intelligence and the mind, because he's holding the sword, he's not looking at the sword. He's looking down to the past here. And that feels more like, and the ground that he's on is moving. Like it feels like, okay, he's getting ready to make that move. And because he's not focused on logic so much, he's more focused on what's in his heart, what's in what he feels that he wants to do in his soul. Because that's also sitting right on the High Priestess. Yeah. And it took a lot. It took a lot for him to come to this decision. This isn't a decision that he took lightly. And that could mean also that he's disappointing others in some way by doing this. This card is quite often considered the wounded warrior, but I feel like in this case it represents like him having conviction beyond a doubt to take this action, and he's leaning heavy on this wand, that he decided, and this wand, you see it here, and this wand, you see it here. He's willing to give up a lot here to be able to, and it's not even like financial so much, but he's willing to not be favored by others for doing this. He's doing it because this is what he wants to do. And it's interesting because the wounded warrior has like, a bandana around his head, and it's, he's sweating it. It's crooked, and it's taken a lot for him to be able to come to this place where he's okay. I'm done with the thought of it. I'm taking the action. I'm moving forward, and I'm moving forward with it's crossing his heart. And here we have, off on a new adventure. So this feels very foolhardy. This is someone, and perhaps what this communication being here is he's finally saying something about it now. This is what I'm doing, and perhaps the people here, I keep getting that this might be like representing 2 parents and 3 children, something like that. So he's going off on his adventure, and he really doesn't give a shift what anyone has to say about it. He's doing it. Yeah, putting down the burdens, putting down the burden of thinking about it. But I am getting this was the communication. I've always wanted to do this since I was young. And it's now or never kind of energy. I'm putting down some of these wands that I've been carrying, some of this responsibility, because I want to go on this adventure. I want to move forward with this plan. And there's a Queen of Cups here. So the Queen of Cups, it could be that, getting into a new relationship, marrying someone else. He might be a widower, or something like that. It doesn't have to be. It could just be. But the Queen of Cups represents someone who's ready for marriage. That she's the most maternal of all of the queens, and I'm just picking up this energy also. That this could be something I'm on, like someone who's on a mission, like a missionary kind of. Like I have always wanted to go to another country and do this, and bring benefit to this area of the world or something like that, or I want to pour my love into the cup that to make a change in the world for the better. Something like that. It could be a lot of things. Just take it how it resonates with you. Yeah. And this card can represent a never-ending nightmare. But it also can represent someone who has received enlightenment. And, it's in the wee hours of the morning. You may have noticed that sometimes we wake up in the wee hours of the morning. I woke up in the wee hours of the morning this morning, and I, received an email from the person that was working on my website, and some mistake was made and it crashed. Well, they're fixing it. It's going to be fine. But it was like I woke up and bing, there's an email. And I wasn't even upset. I was like, it'll work out. So sometimes this represents like the Holy Spirit coming through with the message, do what you love, do what's in your heart to do. And it will all, like these, this energy will it'll be okay. The universe has you covered. yeah, I get like that's not so much like a never-ending nightmare. I feel like I don't even feel like this person has been in a nightmare. This person is just making a choice that's not in his or her normal character. Because if we look at the bottom going to the top and back down, we have this as the past. We have someone who's thought about this for a long time. They've waited patiently to have the time and the money and the energy to do it. They've kept it to themselves, and that might be why it's so surprising to everybody. You know, people didn't even know that this person had this as a desire. And yeah, because he kept it to himself and to God, basically, is what's coming up. And then this message that he gave, okay, this is what I'm going to go do, what I love. And I'm, you know, like this is just at the top here like this. I feel like this was, I'm getting it's a decision that a lot of people thought, oh, like this came out of the blue and he was just like, bang, like he just made this decision out of nowhere, like what's wrong with him, blah, blah, blah. But it's not. It's something that he has really thought about, and he's putting the burden of thinking about it down, and he's going on this new journey. And he's taking, you know, the 369, he's taking that portion with him to go do it. He's doing what he wanted to do since he was young, or him or her again, let me say, and moving into a new way of being, into a new world, a new cycle. And this is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. I love that, how clear that is. That's very clear. And now I will clarify this reading for those of you that want to have more clarification on it. I'm using my oracle, which is Tales from the Vector. And I started working on this in 2007. It's the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And I did 64 paintings, which I completed in 2020. And they're, you know, some of them, a lot of them are great big dragons that are really large. So that's why it took me so long. I have taken this deck out, but it was never completed at the time, to fairs. And for about 4 years, I traveled around and did a lot of readings and seminars and had a lot of fun with it. But now that it's complete, I'm working on bringing the actual deck out. And I have the numbers of the paintings on the cards here. So if you want, you can go to talesfromthevector.com. Once they fix it, which hopefully will be soon. And it's TAILS from thevector.com. And I will, in the description box below, I will have the numbers listed of the cards as they showed up, so you can look them up. And also I do have chapters here so that you can find this part of the reading if you want to. Oh, so first I'm going to take the underlying energy from this deck to clarify. There we have it. Death, transition, death and birth. So yeah, this person is moving on it's coming up from an old way of thinking, from an old way of being and doing. And I'm getting that way lighter, like just letting go of a lot of responsibility. And I'm getting that it's, you know, whoever this is, they deserve this. You know, they've put, this isn't someone that's flighty at all. This is someone who's been very successful and has really been a responsible person for you know, and even now, even though it may seem to others that this person is not being responsible, they actually are being responsible to themselves. And here we have it again, like this card comes up like so many times in my readings, the scotoma. So a scotoma is, you can actually have a physical scotoma in your eye, where you can't, there's a spot that you can't see and you might not even notice it, but it's like a few pixels are missing. And so it speaks about having a blind spot, and I'm getting that the energy here is more of the people around him, that they just had no idea that this person was really like wanting to do this. It wasn't something that they talked about, you know. Okay. So this is shame off you. So degradation is a tactic that a lot of times people use, and water is in the tarot represents emotions. So yeah, I'm just getting that a lot of people were like just kind of taken really aback, and the card says shame off you instead of shame on you, and that's what I'm getting. This emperor is like, you know what? I don't really care what you think. I'm going to do what I want to do. And then we have the shooting star. Yeah, this is something that when you wish upon a shooting star, if you never do what you wish, then you're caught in the wishing loop. And, it means you never had what you always wanted. So this person is making this choice to go do what they want. And they have, that's their attitude, and that's the way it's going to be. Yeah, nobody. And this might mean going to Peru, like that, to the rainforest, or to the Amazon, somewhere in the Amazon, or going to, a far off country. I was picking up that energy. And you see the fulfillment. The fulfillment is everything. Like those 10 cups represent everything spiritual, everything earthly, family, friends, desires, and all of that. So it could be that I keep getting this energy of someone that wants to, like, philanthropy energy, someone that wants to now take everything that they've learned from raising a family, being successful in business or whatever, and they want to move that and take that energy and into really benefiting the world. And that's what God puts us on this planet for. Every single one of us has the potential to be a significant dot in God's plan. So sometimes we have a blind spot to that pixel that we are in the big picture. And, a lot of people don't accept that challenge, but this emperor is accepting that challenge. And we have it again. This is an energetic upgrade, the Magician at the end here. So the Magician's coming up twice here, and the Magician is saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. And what's interesting is my Magician is, in this oracle, it's a dragonfly, and it's dipping its tail into a little pool of water. And that is that Amazon energy that's coming up here. So I just keep getting that energy of going off somewhere where perhaps people are less fortunate and wanting, and I'm getting that this person is very innovative. That's what this card here also represents, someone that is very innovative. And that's also what the Page of Swords represents, and wants to take maybe ideas to improve the quality of life for a lot of people. Really, really cool energy. And then we have lack of awareness. So missed opportunities, yeah. So this is something that this person does not want to give up on his dreams, her dreams, and they want to move forward and really do it now. Like now that they have the skill set, they have the money, they have the experience, the life experience, and they have the ability to be able to do it. And we have the Chariot coming in. And so the Chariot is the power of spin. In my oracle, it is the yin-yang symbol. It's being able to be 100% strong in your masculine and your feminine energy, so that you can make shift happen. And so the energy is like, this is already the plans. He's made the plans quietly. She, this person has made the plans quietly, and they're in that Emperor energy. They are going to make this happen. It's already happening, but now she is talking about it. Yeah, and I'm just getting it. It's that energy of Leo. The horoscope sign of Leo is that energy of the stage of life is like teenage boys, and this is about the sun. The sun is about God, and this is having the confidence now before. And I'm just getting that at this, when someone's young and in this energy, they could come off as being really arrogant, saying, I'm going to do this and this is how it's going to be. But I'm getting that this person is actually going to do it. He's doing what he talked about for years, since he was like the Page of Wands represents someone under the age of 21. And the Judgment is coming from the heart. Totally 100%. That's what that's saying. Totally unfettered. This king or this emperor does not give a shit what anyone says. This is happening. That's what's coming up. And so we have the superstar. And this is, coming up, that energy where they weren't speaking about it, but now they are. And they're going to be a superstar. But this is indicating to me that no, there is no energy here where this emperor wants to hurt anyone's feelings or step all over people or anything. The emperor wants harmony. At the same time, the emperor doesn't really care what other people have to say about it. That's why the emperor is an emperor. The emperor cares what they have to say about it. They take responsibility for their actions. If they make a mess, they clean it up. If they don't have the money, they make the money. That's the kind of energy. And it's also coming up, like, talk is cheap, but action speaks louder than words, right? So battle star is, we have lots of, these represent chakras, and they also represent like energy from the stars. And so this is about having the courage to make this choice and move forward with it. And that's also about being able to breathe through it. So I'm just getting that this person does, knows how to meditate and doesn't go off and do things that are like not well thought out. But this is something that has been thought out for a long time, and now it's being implemented. So once again, it's just this energy coming up again that the people around him had no idea. No idea. Yeah, the Hangman. That's kind of what it's representing. The Hangman is actually hanging from the tree of knowledge upside down, and the left leg is behind the right leg. So this is something that represents the left side of the body, represents the more feminine, intuitive aspects. And so, and then the right leg is more like moving forward. And once that Hangman comes down from the tree of knowledge and has really, the aura around his head is like bright yellow and full of knowledge. And this is how I'm going to do it. And this is a real balanced energy. It's also sitting on the Chariot here, which is that balance between masculine and feminine energy, and knowing which energy to use at which time, basically. And then, we have, that doesn't surprise me that the Sagittarius world travel comes up, covering world travel, and this young person, what they've always wanted to do, taking their coins now and going to travel. This is all about expansion versus contraction and adventure, like traveling the world or whatever. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a philanthropist. This could be someone that just really has always wanted to travel the world and experience new cultures and whatever. And we have the Emperor covering the Fool on his new journey. Yeah. So the Emperor it's just saying again, this is what I'm doing. And so there could be many versions of this. This could even be something like someone always wanted to open a business and never did. They always worked for someone else, and now they're going to open their own business, and everybody's looking at them like, what? Yeah. And this is saying, in my oracle, there's two cards that are foolhardy and foolish for the fool. And that's like when you're caught between a rock and a hard place and you don't know what to do, you let go of the rope. So you just, you let it go, and you, and this is saying that this person is traveling with God's plan. Like this is something that, it's destiny. That's what the Chariot comes in. And so this is a foolhardy decision. It's not a foolish decision, although the people around him, her may feel that it's a little bit foolish. Yes. And then we have reckless abandon. Discipline of the mind equals freedom. And that's, to me, what this card is saying. So this person is abandoning any doubt. That was the conviction, and moving forward with this plan. And congratulations to you if that's you, because this is saying that you're a very successful person and you have the potential to be even more successful and actually really enjoy this journey. You deserve it. I really enjoyed this reading. If you also enjoyed it, do consider hitting the like button, and thank you for subscribing if you resonate. I will have another reading tomorrow. Bye for now.